Today we're catching up with Justin Moore, who continues his specific brand of small town storytelling that he's made so famous with his latest project, Straight Out of the Country. I absolutely love More Than Me. It's the sweetest, and I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of earthiness to that kind of love of your family, and I would love to hear you talk about writing that song and what that song means to you.
It's funny what people gravitate towards, and that seems to be the most popular one over the last couple of weeks or whatever people have heard. And it really, the idea came from a conversation I had with my oldest daughter, who's now 11. So she was probably, I don't know, 8 at the time or something like that. And she came home from school one day talking about one of her little buddies that was having boyfriend troubles or something. And I'm going, no, we're not going there right now. Way too early for that. And so it kind of developed into a conversation that she and I had. And I said, look, one of these days, a long time from now, you're going to find somebody that loves you a lot, and they better love you a whole lot. They better get close to me, but they ain't never going to love you more than I do. I promise you. And so that's kind of where the idea came from. And then, I wrote it with other, parents, and so it just kind of became a love letter to my kids, if you will.
So dear. It's like, I think you can enjoy it as a child, I can enjoy it as the kid of my parents, and I can enjoy it like you can enjoy it for your friend. It's like everyone can kind of listen to it and wear it in a different way, which is really fun too.
That's cool. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's the coolest thing about it for me is I've written songs with undertones maybe about being a parent or the love of my children, or for my children. But this is the first one that it's been solely that, and about kind of all of them. And to me, the neatest thing about it is long after I'm gone, they'll have this. I try to tell them I love them every single day 100 times, all of them. But they'll have this, long after I'm gone, and can play it to remind them of maybe how much.
Ooh, I mean, that is like a love letter written in stone.
Yeah.
It's because it really goes on forever. That's a beautiful thought. Talk to me I've seen a quote from you that's kind of talks about the ways that the current single, We Didn't Have Much, has kind of had new meaning, in the life that we're all leading, this year, which in some ways has been a simpler life, or, one that's maybe more connected to home or to our people. I love that song. I'd love to hear you talk about, maybe what you first heard and loved about it, what was so attractive, but also like what it means to you now.
Yeah, to me, when I first heard it, it was pre-pandemic, and I fell in love with the song. But it, to me, just kind of described a lifestyle that I was obviously familiar with growing up that same way. And some of the lines in it just got me, like dog barking in the yard, a truck we don't know. And some of those just kind of took me back to a moment in my youth, maybe, and so I really related to the song. And but to your point, after all this stuff hit us and we were sent home, and we watched the world change around us, and we were all not at home in our area, but at home, a long while. Again, it just took on a whole. It magnified what I thought about it before. My parents lived like 1,000 yards from me through the cow pasture, but just for perspective. But so, they would cook one night and bring us some, and we would cook one night and bring them some, and it just kind of that kind of deal. And I don't know. I just thought people would relate to it on an even deeper level, because I've learned over the years with different songs, if it's something I'm going through or something I can relate to, then usually there's a lot of people out there in the same boat.
I also think, I'll speak for myself, and I don't know if this has been true for you in this industry, but like it can get fancy and it can be about, it can get about second homes and big vehicles, and your eyes are opened. Even for someone like me, being around friends who are much more successful than I am, you see all this stuff, right? That enters your life.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think once you get on the hamster wheel, it's hard to get off of it, and kind of what you said initially is this business is really crazy. I mean, and some people did, but a lot of people didn't grow up um, in the world in which we live from a professional standpoint, and the nobody can teach you how to go through it and experience it, and you kind of have to just go through it and figure it out on the way. I know for me, it was really hard to handle success early on. When I came from a town of 300 people and lower middle class, and my parents certainly gave me everything I needed and more, but it wasn't as though I could just they could go out and take me to Disney World 3 times a year or buy me whatever this or that I wanted. And so coming from that to having success just from a monetary standpoint, you're it's wild. And then from a certainly I'm not Brad Pitt, but having any type of fame, when you look in the mirror, you still see you. And so, yeah, you're exactly right. It took me a while to figure all that out. And then, the pressures of how to handle failure, because it's a roller coaster ride. I remember points after we had success that things look grim again. And you're going, damn, how did this happen? We had it rolling and now golly, so anyway, the pressures of it all are extreme, and the highs and lows are extreme. It's always my goal to stay even keel, but sometimes it's certainly difficult to do that.